Okay, so I've been seeing this stuff everywhere. Hokkaido Japanese milk bread. Apparently it's like the softest bread on earth. And I've been wondering if I can make this in my zojirushi bread maker. I think we should find out. Alright, so my recipe says there's basically one thing that makes this milk bread different from regular white bread. And it's this paste called TANGZHONG. You just cook flour, milk, and water together for a couple minutes, and apparently it does something to the moisture in the dough that makes the bread stay soft longer, and it gives it a really nice texture. So let's start by making the TANGZHONG. We need 3 tablespoons of bread flour, 3 tablespoons of water, and 3 tablespoons of milk. Then we can just whisk all that together. And I'm gonna set our timer for 3 minutes, and I'm gonna keep heat pretty low here. I think medium low is what the recipe said. And we don't want it to get too hot or to cook too long. So we just have to start whisking it up until it thickens up. Now I'm trying to stick to our 3 minutes, so I'm gonna up the heat just a little bit. Okay, I think that's it. It's supposed to look kind of like a loose pudding, and then we're just gonna set it aside to cool down while we get everything else ready. So the order you put the stuff in the pan is important. Wet stuff first, dry stuff on top, and the yeast goes in last because we don't want it touching any of the liquid. So we're gonna start by putting our paste in first. And then 1 cup of warm milk. Now it's supposed to be around 110 degrees, which in my recipe is described as just warm to the touch, but not too hot. Now honestly, I feel like this is gonna cool down a lot by the time I get all the rest of this stuff in, but oh well. Now we've got 1 egg at room temperature, 3 tablespoons of softened butter, 1/4 cup of sugar, and a teaspoon of salt. And I'm gonna put this into one corner because apparently salt can also mess with the yeast if they touch directly, which I've never heard of that before. Let's just go with it. Okay, now we got 3½ cups of bread flour. I only had all-purpose flour, so I tried to figure out if that would be okay. And pretty much everywhere I looked online, everyone said no, bread flour only. Something about the protein content being what makes the milk bread chewy and stretchy instead of crumbly, so I had to go buy some bread flour first. Okay, now we've got 2 tablespoons of dried milk powder, and last, the yeast. And we need 1 1/4 teaspoons, which happens to be just one of these entire packets. And I'm just gonna make a little hole in the middle of our flour and pour it in. Okay, settings. The general advice online says to go with the basic white bread setting, which is course 1, and set the crust to light. My recipe says this should be in the bread maker for about 3½ hours, but course 1 with light crust only runs about 3 hours, and the only way to get to 3½ is to bump the crust to medium. I'm just gonna go with medium. I think I'd rather risk a slightly darker crust than a doughy middle, so we'll see if that was the right call. So I'm just gonna press start, and here we go. All right, so the top looks pretty good. It's nice and soft. Yeah, the sides are definitely darker than I wanted. So it looks like my medium crust gamble didn't quite pay off. I probably should have trusted the recipe and just gone with light. All right, the real test. Just cutting into it, you can tell it's nice and soft. The slices are holding together, they're not falling apart or crumbling. Everything I've seen says if you've made it right, it should pull apart in like long soft strands and not crumble. So it's looking pretty good so far. Okay, now a little taste test. The crust is on the firm side, but other than that, it's slightly sweet and it's really soft. And with a little butter on it, it's pretty amazing. So if you've made milk bread in your bread machine before, let us know in the comments what you did differently, or if you have any tips.